All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to some more TNT Championship Season 2 2024. I am Deltheus, and we've got the semifinals match here against Melvinfro and Tatanka, a tale as old as time. Two of the best players consistently over the years in the scenes. This could be the finals, but I'm super excited that it isn't, because on the other side of the bracket, we've got QQ versus Sasha, two players who have not yet clinched a premier tournament victory. So really excited for that. Tatanka and Melvinfro, their trophy case is already pretty full. They've won plenty of events, and I'm really excited to get into this one. Let me tell the players we are ready, and let's take it away. Here we go. I just gave them the word, and we should be popping off now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Super fun. Let's see, if I have more energy after this, I might cast some more games, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be cast. And got some folks hanging out with us here in the chat. Thanks. Good to see everybody. Tuesday Twitch, that's an old school name. Heartseed, of course, good to see ya. Tickle Bandit, a.k.a. QQ. Big shout out to QQ. He is the one who made this event this season. It is a ton of work, an absolutely ton of work. To organize this stuff and keep everybody going, keep everybody on task, make sure all the matches are being played, deal with any drama. So thank you so much, QQ, keeping Tooth and Tail alive. And in the bottom right, we've got Tatanka playing as Hopper, and in the top, Melvinfro as Archimedes. Taking a look at these decks here, we do see the Crow out in Melvinfro. You know, I'm really excited for the Crow. We just haven't seen a lot of Crow on the top end, to be honest, of competitive Tooth and Tail. So really excited to see how Melvinfro decides to leverage that unit. For those of you that don't know, we are playing on a mod that introduced new units, the Crow and the Raccoon. The Crow is like a tier 1 flying unit that hits ground only, and the Raccoon is like a tier 2 kind of long distance shooter unit, deals a lot of damage and also gains you food when it's outside of its territory. So a little bit of pre-8 farm shenanigans here from both players. Wasn't paying close enough attention to see who started it. I think Tatanka did. But basically just to check, yeah, look at this. They're both going to sell it off. And, you know, basically what they were trying to do is if your opponent doesn't respect it, you can get over there with a couple squirrels when they're not ready for it and, you know, do some harassment damage. So no harm, no foul at the moment. Both players with a good read of what's going on. A little bit of an awkward map for Tatanka here. Does get this cabin, so if Tatanka does choose to take that cabin and keep it on a one-base game, that is going to give them a very substantial increase. I think approximately 12% of a better economy than their opponent. But so far, just 8 farm doubles. Generally speaking, both of these players do like to macro. I've always been really impressed with Melvinfro over the years, because I think he's the kind of player that can take one deck, you know, really be like, this is the deck. Like, I think Melvinfro will probably... Look at this! 8 farm Badger out of Tatanka, man. Insane. Melvin scouts it immediately. But I was going to say, like, yeah, Melvin normally stays like one deck, but then knows how to use that deck a million different ways, right? Aggressively, macro, all that kind of stuff. So we have some 8 farm Badgers here for you. What a way to start off the semifinals here. Interesting. You know, it's tough, because this kind of opener can be more resilient than you think. Like, your gut reaction might be like, oh, they're trying to take a tier 3, let me go attack them. Sometimes that doesn't work, and like, you deal some damage, but you don't deal crippling damage, and then they get their tier 3 out, and then you're kind of caught with your pants down, and then they roll over you. So Melvinfro is putting on some pressure here, but it's not hard committing. I think the snake is going to be awesome. Yeah, is it still one snake hit kills a pig? Or maybe, it must be 2, because it looks like Melvin is making sure he gets that 2 stack. So this is great. Oh my god, getting that snake alive. Wow, look at that. 3 farms of damage. Plus, keeping the snake around is absolutely huge. And Melvin will have his own Badger by the time that Tatanka's Badger's here. I think this is looking good for Melvin here. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, my memory is not that great, but I think Melvin is the current champion, right? Didn't Melvin, was it Melvin versus Sasha last season? Wasn't that the finals? And then Melvin won? No. It was Melvin versus Araloo. That was the season before, right? I think it was Melvin versus Araloo last time. Man, I'd have to look. I'm just embarrassing myself here on my TNT history. But I believe Melvin was in the last finals. I think Araloo actually won. Anyways, doesn't matter. All right, Tatanka moving out. Tatanka's got to deal a ton of damage here because they took very, very big blows to the economy. Didn't even bother rebuilding. Just wants to leverage whatever they can. Oh my god, all the snake poison. Oh, what? Tatanka able to hard fire down the opponent's Badger. Will Tatanka's Badger live the poison? Oh my gosh, it's going to stay alive with the support of the Badgers, but more poison coming onto it. I think it's going to be okay. Getting back into its territory helps alleviate poison as well. Oh my gosh. So Melvin's got a big economic advantage here, but lost their Badger very, very quickly in that fight. Araloo. All right, see, I got Araloo on the mind now. Tatanka coming in. Wow. I mean, this is what I was talking about on paper there. Like, Melvinfro was so far ahead, but Tooth and Tail is all about engagements. It really is. The better army does not win. The army that's better positioned and better controlled wins. 3 stacks of poison on that Badger again, but plenty of pigeon support here. Going to be able to negate that. Oh, Melvin really wanted to finish it off, but can't. Okay, well, Melvin did get their own their own Badger paid for. So another Badger on the way. Got the rev up, though. Now this Badger is super dangerous. 5 stacks of poison. 6 stacks of poison. I think that's going to be enough, even with the pigeon healing 5. Okay, that's a dead Badger. Okay, finally. That Badger goes down for the Tatanka, but man, what a powerful unit. And here comes Melvin's Badger. So is it going to swing the other way? It is. Tatanka sees writing on the wall. It taps out. What an action-packed way to start this series. Point on the board for Melvin here as the players quickly decide on their new units for the next game. Mocaccino in the chat. What's up, Mocha? Was just talking about you earlier. Big shout out to Mocaccino. They've been covering a lot of the tournament lately as well, so check them out on YouTube and Twitch. I will link Mocaccino's channels in the YouTube video description that you are watching if you are on YouTube. All right, here we go. Game number 2. Tatanka in the bottom, and up top, Melvinfro. Tatanka with the double tier 3 here. Really fun to see. You kind of see that often with the boar. Like, I think boar wolf makes a lot of sense because it's like boar for the early game. If we want to do that, like one base all in push, and then the wolf just kind of scales. We see the crow from both sides. So these pro players know something I do not about the crows. Again, I mean, we were talking about how Sasha was explaining to me a long time ago that crows are actually a really good late game transition. So let's see if that's going to be the utilization. And if not, curious how else they're going to be used. Really weird map. Hopefully we get a macro game. Look at this spawn for Melvin, bro. Like, he's like the big boss at the end of the video game here. He's got like 5 bases with a moat around. And, you know, these bridges are actually bad. They make units clump up. So if Tatanka like marches, even if he tries to like march in the water, unless he's like really far in the water, like if Tatanka just walks right here, like the units will try to take the bridge. I imagine Melvin's just standing here with skunks, right? Like that's gonna be not gonna be a good time. Now Tatanka's not out and about, not out as far as map gen goes. Tatanka does have a nice 4 bases here, a little bit more spread out. But this is actually cool, like it's not that unbalanced. I think Tatanka's got a fine spawn too. And Melvin's going to run into that same problem. Oh, there's actually... Oh my gosh, hang on. Look at this ramping out of Tatanka's base. This is insane, bro. Like, there's no ramps. There's one over here, and there's one over here, and that's it. So ledge harassment can be a thing, but I think that's actually a little bit better. Ooh, the snake... Trying to be a sneaky snake. Going to take a lot of damage off that cabin. Snakes do not attack buildings. Pigs are not considered buildings, so they can't attack them. And yeah, just wants to come. This is a little greedy by Tatanka. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this. Does get the pig, but like, I guess, trades a pig for a snake, I suppose. Oh, but the lizards need to pull those back. Tatanka's commander died. A little bit of slop here from Tatanka. See, if that lizard would have gotten the water, it would have lived. But units love to use these bridges. Okay, not the end of the world. Like, maybe I'm being too harsh with Tatanka here. Traded a snake for a pig. I mean, that's even. Lost a couple lizards. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I like that Tatanka is trying to be aggressive, trying to do some harassment, but I don't think that's the game we're playing on this map. And Melvin's just in such good position here. Snakes, squirrels, pigeons, all protecting the bacon. So, this is a really fun map. Yeah, everybody in chat agrees as well. Like, I think it's a cool map. It's really unique. I think, in a weird way, it's better for Tatanka than it looks. Now, if this game becomes like hyper ultimate late game, sure, Melvin will have that 5th Gristmill, but we don't really see that anymore in Tooth and Tail. There were like owl metas that would kind of happen in. Good scout here from Tatanka, sees the badger. Melvin hasn't. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, he saw it. Yeah, I mean, most games of Tooth and Tail, even if they are macro games, I don't see them go more than like 3-4 mils. But we'll see. There's also a sneaky cabin over here. This would be really cool if this like actually mattered in a base race. I'm gonna sound so smart if that happens. Let me reiterate, this is live, okay? This is not a replay. I have not sneakily seen the replay for it. I've actually never done that, by the way. I mean, I've been casting this game for 8 years now. Holy, that is a long time, dude. Almost 8 years. I guess it came out in late 2017. I've never once like pre-screened a replay. I don't know, it just takes the fun out of it for me. Like, why would I do that? To sound smart or something? I don't care about that. Getting into 3 bases, we are starting to see the crows. I mean, snakes against the badger, right? Seems good. This one might just cook for a little bit. The thing is, when you get into positions like this is where I lose games all the time. Like, I'll be hanging like with these guys, right? And then I'll just like attack for no reason, just because I'm like, let's go fight. And oftentimes it's just wrong. I don't know. Like, you have to identify like power spikes and comps. You have to identify like maybe good positioning. I mean, I don't know. Is Melvinfro worried? I mean, Melvinfro knows about the wolf, right? So is Melvinfro worried about this? About the wolf just kind of buffing the pigs? I don't know. Like, what is going to make you want to attack here? It's tough. Because the bad attack loses you the game, right? Like, defender's advantage is a real thing. Especially when we get, like, this amount of Warrens out. I mean, just the rally distance that you get as a defender, the advantage there is just so huge. So, this is what Tatanka's... Yeah, Tatanka's like, maybe I can attack, but he's going right into Melvin. He's hoping Melvinfro's army isn't here, but it is. So, yeah, he backs that ass up immediately. That's what I'm talking about. Like, Tatanka was hoping, like, okay, maybe Melvin's army's over here. I come be a sneaky little bastard and come knock out this base. I mean, it's it's tough. You know, it really comes down to engagement at this point. Like, we can assume, even though the armies are not quite like, you just have to be on the assumption right now, like, our armies are of equal value and power. Here comes that crow scaling that we've been talking about. Lots of crows from both sides. Now, crow's really good against boar, right? I mean, it doesn't get impacted by the boar at all. Well, the boar explosions... Does the boar explosion still hit air? Let's find out. I don't remember. Oh my god. Tatanka's army just rallying through so far. 12... Alright, that's a dead badger there. Jeez, man. Tatanka just blasting through. The Wolf Buff Crows did so much work. And that Boar Bomb, all right, he's going to try to get the Wolf out alive. Oh, the Crows! The Crows! All right, really nicely done there from Tatanka. Trades armies, manages to keep his Wolf alive. Melvin's just going to call it there. Yeah, it takes too much damage. GG. All right. Another point on the board for Tatanka. Wait, did I miss it? I missed a game, didn't I? Who won, was that the second game? I think I missed putting a point on the board. Yeah, because the Badgers. No. Yeah. Tatanka. Oh my gosh. I feel like the scoreboard is messed up. All right. Over here on the right, we've got Tatanka. Over here on the left, Melvinfro. I've got to figure this out. I can actually check real quick. Sorry about this, y'all. Let me see. No, that was just game 2. Okay. Yeah, that was game 2. I don't want to confuse anybody further. Let me delete these messages. No, because I was getting confused with the Sasha games. That was game 2. This is game 3. Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. My brain. I got streamer brain here. Okay, we're on game 3. Over on the right, Tatanka. Over on the left, Melvinfro. 1-1 right now. This is a real map. I think that this map can be played pretty much any way that the players would like it to be. 1-1. Okay, thank you, mocaccino. Sorry. I just got in that weird, like, questioning myself situation. Fast expansions from both sides. Love to see it. Yeah, just 8-farm single into an expansion. Great opening build. And yeah, this is a nice mid-range map, right? Like, both players have access to plenty of gristmills. We're kind of close, but not, like, insanely close. Actually, we are pretty damn close, to be fair. Like, I always look at this territory, like, that's very close. But the map feels large anyways, and it's got kind of complicated terrain. So, for example, this right here is really interesting. This could kind of make or break an engagement. I think the players are better than that, though. I think Tatanka is going to pretty intentionally move his army around that, unless it just doesn't kind of matter. But I don't know. This is kind of a weird choke here, trying to move into Melvin's base. And okay, yeah, some nice macro coming up so far. A little bit of both. A couple warrens here, a couple farms. No tier 2 just yet. Love to see some lizard harass. I'm glad lizards are back in the mix. They're one of my favorite units. They can allow for some really cool plays, like for example what Tatanka's doing over here, just rallying those off to the side, hoping for an opening to come in and get some harassment. I also love, as like a Squizzard player myself, like I love 6 lizards. I think that's like the perfect amount. Because it's like, okay, you get busted, you lose your lizards, not the end of the world. But if you lose like 12 or 15, that can be too much. So I like 6, especially if you're going to run around. 6 is just enough to like snipe a pig pretty quick or take out a warren. Up to 16 farms though, so let's see. Are we going to throw down some tier 3s? Seems like that's going to be on the menu for both players. Yep, just getting those tier 3s pretty fast. And we'll have to see what happens from here. All right. This is a best of 7, so buckle up. And yeah, if I still got some stamina in me after this and people are hanging out and want to check out some more Tooth and Tail, I might stream some more games. There's plenty of stuff that needs to be streamed still. So good scout from Tatanka, sees the badger. Melvin has not yet seen the wolf. So this is going to be a pretty important scout pattern for Melvin. I think these guys have played each other enough, have a big enough game knowledge. Yeah, like you should know that a tier 3 is on the way, but good scout there actually sees that it's double tier 3. So Melvin's just going to respond with double Badger. And as we saw in Sasha versus this guy, triple Badger, multiple Badgers is pretty legit. I love this comp from Tatanka, though. Like, utilizing that board to really get in there, tank a lot of damage, do a lot of AoE with the flamethrower and the explosion. And then, following up with those, like, Wolf Buff Crows, all that tier 1. Like, tier 1 is so good. The main reason is tier 1 rebuilds incredibly quickly. It only takes 10 seconds to build a tier 1 unit. So, if we're in the late game, and you have, like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 tier 1 Warrens, right? Maybe 20 is a lot, but yeah, like 10, 15 tier 1 Warrens. I mean, 10 seconds later, that's 10, 15 more units. That's huge. A lot of times when you get these really big tier 2 armies, you trade armies and then you everything's supply blocked. You got to go home and sell stuff off and figure out what you want to keep. All right, we're seeing 3 bases here, and I'm curious if this is going to be a repeat of last time or not, right? I mean, maybe I'm losing a few of the details here, but these armies seem to be the same. Tatanka won that last engagement pretty handily, but again, as I've said a lot on today's stream, positioning matters a lot, engagements themselves matter a lot, not necessarily just unit comps, but unit comps can play a big role too. And if Tatanka's just kind of got Melvinfro's number on composition, then Melvinfro's gonna have to adjust. And like I said at the beginning of the series, like Melvinfro is not really known to be. I kind of think of players like the Gentleman or Mishi were very good at that, or even like Big Pimpintosh. Although he hasn't put up incredible tournament results yet, I think Big Pimpintosh has been very competitive lately. But players like that are just very good at changing decks every game, and I don't think that's really Melvin and Tatanka's MO, right? So if Tatanka's kind of like checkmated Melvin on composition, that's going to get really awkward for Melvin, because I don't think either player really wants to budge on their unit comp. But here we go. Tatanka's just going in, and I don't know if this was the best engagement this time around. Those crows just kind of came in and got melted. Let's see, the Badgers are staying alive. And yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, pretty much the same thing we saw last game. This time, Melvinfro just wrecks Tatanka. I think Tatanka pulled a Deltius there and just, like, attacked for no reason. I mean, he really wanted to force the issue. Maybe he was thinking the same thing I was kind of postulating on, which was, oh, maybe my comp is just way better. I put the wrong score there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I gotta be careful about this. All right, 2-1 Melvin. We're keeping they're keeping me honest in the Discord. That's good. We have a little chat going on. So all right, making sure everybody's in agreement on score. Yes, we are. Here we go. So yeah, I mean, I guess what I was just talking about was wrong, right? I was like, I wonder if Tatanka's, but I'm on a little bit of delay, so I'm actually watching the engagement again. Yeah, that's just a bad engagement from Tatanka. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Another big thing in Tooth and Tail is units don't actually attack until they have like their feet planted on a tile. So the whole game's on like grids of tiles, right? So a squirrel is not going to fire until it finds a tile to stand on. In the bottom here, Melvin off a nice victory, and Tatanka up top. Similar decks. No, Tatanka changed it up pretty decently, actually. Melvin looks to be running about the same thing again. But yeah, so units don't fire until they actually have a tile. I think Badger is like the exception to that. And Boar, of course, with the flamethrower. But so on that engagement, like Melvin was up, like his feet were planted, I guess is the succinct way to say it. Where Tatanka's units have to move in, find tiles, and then attack. So you lose a lot of DPS on that. All right, looking at the map, wow, holy moly. Look at this map, bro. Like, this could be... Wow. if you're a map maker, you should actually screenshot this because this is like so symmetrical for an RNG map. Like they both have 3 bases on a little high ground here, campfire on both sides. Like this looks like Age of Empires symmetry, you know, where it's not like exactly the same like StarCraft or something, but it's pretty damn close. And then you have this like 1 mil in the middle, like, oh, who gets that mill if the game goes long? You know, that's never gonna happen, but really cool map. All right, we're gonna have some expansion openings again. And just got to give this one a little bit of time to breathe. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, either live on Twitch or on the bot on YouTube. We are trying to wrap this season up. I know it's been going on for a little while. QQ's been pretty much carrying the torch for this season, mostly by himself. So, you know, thank you for all the hard work on this one, QQ. It can just sometimes be difficult. Even though Tooth and Tail is a pretty small game, everything considered, like we have people all over the world, which just makes it really difficult, right? Like we have to figure out times that work for people in pretty much every time zone in the world. We have a lot of European players, a lot of American players. We even have some players in East Asia and South America. So sometimes it'd be difficult, you know, wrangling all the cats, keeping people on check. So this one's dragged out a little bit here, but we are getting to the end. The winner of this will advance to the grand finals to face off against the winner of QQ versus Sasha, which has not been battled yet. And as soon as we can really like lock in a date for those finals, I'll make some announcements in the Pocketwatch Discord, kind of try to hype it up a little bit. Get some co-casters. I think Kipo was talking about casting with me. QQ obviously would love to cast and host if he is not competing. Melvinfro here with that Badger, Tatanka with that Wolf, both off of 16 farm openers. So our goal is to get everything squared away pretty fast. I want to say ideally we're talking finals like next weekend or the following one. Double tier 3 here from Tatanka. Gonna show Melvin how to play Badger. You know, I think that's been pretty consistent this whole series. Both players just really rushing up to that tier 3 super fast. Whenever I try to do this, I just die. So I always get really angry watching these players just get away with murder on this screen, bro. Like, look at this. 16 farms, double tier 3. He's got 3 tier 1 Morans, man. If this was me, my opponent would, like, just come attack me and I'd die. But obviously, I'm being facetious here. There's a lot more nuance going on. It's a lot of scouting. It's a lot of, like, you're doing this so I can do that. And since both players kind of have the intention of getting up to high-tech fast, they're both getting away with it. So Melvinfro does have this third base. I'd actually like to see Tatanka take his mill too, because the way that mills work nowadays is that they gain HP over time. So you really want to, even if you're not building any farms there, you see that it just gains some more max HP. You want to let that max HP start rising up, because a fresh mill is super easy to take down. That change has been in the game for a long time, but it was made mostly to nerf mill tanking. That's like if imagine Melvinfro like attacks and takes this mill, it spawns at max HP. You can tank a lot of damage for $60. And then it was also to encourage more aggressive play, to try to punish like expansions, which I think it did a good job of. So triple tier 3. Why triple? Why not quadruple? Why not quintuple? What's the limit? What's the upper limit here? Of what a 2-base economy can support. This is gonna be. I really hope this game is not like a one and done engagement. I really hope like they trade armies and we get a little bit down in the gutters, because they're gonna have to make some big decisions on what to sell here. You cannot afford this army again that they're building, right? So they're gonna have to come home. They're gonna have to sell Warrens. They're gonna have to make some really fast decisions on army comp. You know, here comes a tier 1 starting to throw in, and that's the hedge against the fact that it can't afford. So Melvin, you know, let's say like the game is not decided by a single attack. Melvin's making all these crows, so that way he comes back home and maybe sell off a little bit of tier 3, tier 2, and keep those tier 1 warrants pumping. All right, finally that gristmill gets taken by Tatanka. I mean, I think a little bit of an oversight there from him. This mill on Melvinfro's side has a lot more HP, and I think that's going to matter because the mills are going to be tanking, right? And if we actually start investing in 3 bases, like the game is going to be decided on not necessarily the engagement, but if you can trade efficiently enough and take out the enemy's 3rd base, because the 3rd base is the front lines here. Yeah, this is a little spicy. Tatanka needs to be the aggressor. If Melvin takes out this 3rd base, ooh, I'm getting excited, man. The tension is rising here. Look at these armies. As much as I want to be like, oh, it's gonna be so fun. Like it's gonna come down to one engagement, right? Like there's no way somebody doesn't lose the 3rd base. I think on the attack or on the follow up. But yeah, why do you attack? That's the thing. If only we had some ferrets. Ferret or fox would be so good here just to poke and force the opponent to come make a bad attack. Dude, this is stressful, man. Yeah, how much do you commit to this 3rd base? Notice how they're putting the pigs in the back, right? Because any forward pig is certainly just going to die. But I mean, hey, that's in a way that's kind of army, right? Like they're tanking a little bit of damage for you. I forget how much exact HP a pig has. What, somewhere on the magnitude of like 10 to 20, right? All right, Tatanka moving out. The music stopped and everything. Like, all right, here's the skunker ass getting started. Oh boy, this is so stressful, dude. Who's gonna pull the trigger? That's another great thing about the crows is like skunks don't impact them. No damage has actually been done. It's so wild because there's enough pigeons on both sides to just like heal through all this. Tatanka getting the buff on the Badgers, and like I said, that mill, Melvinfro's got to keep that mill staying alive, dude. Look at how fast everything is shooting. It's so insane. Oh my God, Melvin is starving because that mill died, but he's gonna take the better engagement. He's gonna be able to run over and return the favor. Tatanka's just gonna tap. That's it. 3-1 Melvin. Oh my God, dude. That's showdown. They had that cowboy stare down for the longest time. 3-1 Melvin. Oh, that was so cool. All right. Player 1 score. 3-1 for Mr. Melvin. But again, like, Tatanka, like, I feel like Tatanka blinked first, Like, why did Tatanka attack? He was confident he had the better comp, I guess. We have 4 Badgers. Just watching, again, I'm on a delay, so I can, like, see that engagement again right now. Yeah, it's 4 Badgers and 8 snakes. There's 2 Badgers and a wolf and a ton of falcons. This wolf falcon just hasn't been holding up, I think, lately. It used to be like the best thing you can do. But I mean, in a lot of my games, like I would build like Cam Falcon wolf armies and I would just die and be like, well, I guess. I'm curious how much crows mattered there. I don't know. Tatanka thinking about dropping the skunk. I guess I could agree with that with this boar wolf build. Yeah, Melvinfro, like I said, man, he's playing the exact same army every single day, every single game. All right, here we go. Over on the left-hand side, we've got Melvin, and over on the right, Tatanka. Pretty even map. Wow, look at attacking Melvin. That is really weird. Just kind of looking at the mini map here. I mean, I guess it's just one. Damn, this is really good positioning for Melvin. Double high ground, one attack path. Meanwhile, Tatanka, I mean, Tatanka's pretty similar. Like one attack. I mean, I guess this is another attack path, but we're not going to see that. Really unfortunate for, like, if only this tree, like, just wasn't there, you know, like one little tree, like it always feels, or like this tree right there. Like the lizard player just wants some sneaky little avenue to go down. Tatanka on his last life here, by the way. 3-1 Melvin. So Tatanka's got to win a couple games in a row to bring this back to parity. 8-farm opener, or 8-farm mill from both sides. Makes sense. This is a weird, kind of bigger, clunky map. It's not going to be easy to attack. And so fast snakes from Tatanka. Not a bad idea. Snakes do a good job of being a harassment unit as the game progresses. So Melvin sees exactly what's going on. Tatanka doesn't know how many farms are on Melvin's base yet. I like this approach, though, from Tatanka. Like, get in there with some snakes, do some harassment. I think Melvin's going to be very, very susceptible to this. Let's see if he decides to do that. He doesn't necessarily have to do that, but I do kind of see the snake as a little bit of a harassment unit in the early game. Hope this snake doesn't take a pop shot from that cabin. Okay. And a lot of road here as well. Okay, Melvin sees a snake moving across the map. Going to run home immediately. Try to get in position. Tatanka is really just trying to catch Melvin with his pants down there, so he's going to leave the snake there for now. He needs to be careful, though. Melvin could rally and just kill this snake. I don't think Tatanka would let that happen, though. Curious if Tatanka will try again with double snakes. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Big move out for Melvin. But this is going to kill a lot of squirrels. One might live from the medic. Oh, almost. Damn. Okay. I think that snake paid for itself. I think it was up on the high ground, and the units were moving by, so they didn't have vision. I'm actually going to try to watch that on my delay. I think that's what happened. Like, I think if you consider, because I was looking at that, like, how the hell did that snake poison like 4 or 5 different squirrels here? All right, 16 farms for both sides. Let's see. So much tier 1. Okay, I can almost see what happened on my instant replay. Actually, I don't even know if I will be able to because I wasn't. Let me see. No tier 3. Just yep. That's exactly what happened, man. Oh, I mean, Tatanka was actually microing it. But yeah, he got like 4 or 5 squirrels. That's awesome. If you are a fan of close matches, you should be rooting for Tatanka right now. If Melvin wins, it is over, and Melvin advances to the finals. If Tatanka wins, we get more tooth and tail out of these two today. Double tier 3 out of Tatanka against the Badger. So much tier 1 from both sides. You know, I'm liking Tatanka's comp. I think he can kind of control the lizards and snake to get it right on the Badger. 5 squirrels, says Mocha, yeah. Super work. Double Badger, though. We've seen this multiple Badger strategy be very, very effective today. All right. Third base is not much of an option on this map. Really interesting that these players don't seem to value cabins. I'm curious if I overvalue cabin or if it's just something they don't really consider. One thing that's hard to remember about metas in any game is like just because a meta is a certain way doesn't mean other things aren't correct. It's just what the top players are doing, right? I know that sounds unintuitive at first, but um, new strategies pop up all the time in a lot of different competitive deep games, and there could just be like a strategy nobody really tested or thought about. So, why not take this cabin? I mean, it's just an extra farm, right? But I think the players just aren't really thinking about that. So, Melvin's is a little bit more exposed. I mean, worst case scenario, you lose it, but you only need a farm to be around for like a minute to pay for itself. I don't know. If this is me, I would absolutely be taking those. Tatanka just keeping track. This is really fun because I feel like we've been in these like tier 3 death ball games, but there's been plenty of money, and there's really not money this time around. And we only have 2 bases here. I don't think either. Like if a player's actually farming off this third base and they just kind of win, um, based on how much map control they have at that point. So I really don't think it's viable for either of those bases to be taken. Another Badger. This triple Badger, man. Can Tatanka's comp actually deal with this? I don't know. He's going really all in on these crows. But I mean, somebody's eventually going to have to go for this stuff, right? Or at least get that damn cabin. Come on. Thank you. There it is. Okay. Cabin established. Maybe Tatanka was saving it for later in the game. Is like, starvation is going to be a real deal here. I mean, if people don't expand anymore, this game's over in a few minutes. So this just added 5 more minutes to Tatanka's life. So I wonder if this is like, do you just stand by and like protect your cabin? Oh no, 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 no. The lag will go away. The lag will go away. Oh boy. Whew, okay. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, there is no like resume from replay function in Tooth and Tail, unfortunately. So if somebody drops out, then we just have to like redo the match. All right, Tatanka putting his foot down on his third base. He's put Melvin in a come at me, bro situation. Melvin cannot allow this to happen. That's such a big, scary army. Eight snakes and some wolves. This is going to be harder to control than it looks by Tatanka, though. Like, he needs to make sure the wolves stay alive. He needs to dive in on the badgers with the snakes. I guess crows are, like, tanking. Like, it's still not clear to me what the role of the crow is. I mean, it's just, like melee units can't hit it, and people that can't shoot up can't hit it. A lot of stuff can't shoot up. Snakes are not that great against it. Oh, man. I'm so nervous for these players right now. Like, Tatanka's got his boots on the ground. Is he in a better position? He's going to go ahead. Some skunk gas coming in from Melvin, but skunks are not that great against crows. All right, Tatanka's going to go in. He's got the big flank. He's got to find these badgers with the snakes. The badgers getting micro back. They've all got a couple stacks of poison on them. The snakes are trying to hard target them. 6 stacks of poison. Is that going to be enough? 2 of them go down. 1 of them remains with 2 stacks of poison. The badger lives, but the double wolf stays alive from Tatanka. Melvin is now starving. And we need to sell, baby. How many badgers are going to try to keep alive? 1 sounds right. Oh my god, that was so good. I love this game. All right, Melvin's in a bad spot, though. But Tatanka's not protecting his assets right now. And Melvin taps? Let me make sure. Did a decent cap in there? Okay, yeah. Melvin did tap. Okay. Cool. Man, what a game. What a game, dude. All right, 3-2. Let's go. Just some of the engage. I mean, Tatanka like flubbed an engagement or two this series, but good grief, man. The engagements that Tatanka has been taking are like out of this world. All right. On the right hand side, Melvin, and over on the left, Tatanka. Melvin, again, not budging on that unit comp. Typical Melvin style. Tatanka making small adjustments, but generally pretty consistent. Yeah, I don't know about Skunks, you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, Skunk's an incredible unit, but I don't know if it's a good unit for this series, because this series, like, they keep just powering up to these tier 3 Deathball armies, button heads, and it really comes down to the engagement and the positioning, and, I mean, with so many crows, like, what are the Skunks really doing, you know? Tickling the snakes a little bit, tickling the wolf. I mean, when your tier 1's all flying, yeah, skunk ass just doesn't matter that much. So. Oh, you're right, Mocha. Thank you. We were delayed because of the do not hat Lego. Yeah. We were delayed because the lag. That's a good point, Mocaccino. So what must have happened is that it was lagging for me, but it was not lagging for the players. So they were probably like 20 seconds ahead or so. Yeah, QQ pointing out in the chat, no Falcons this time around as well. And you know, is it really just coming? It's coming down to the snakes. I feel like from Tatanka, and getting those tags on the badgers. Again, another actually really clean map for the high stakes game that we're playing right now. I mean, just like, hey, here's your base, here's the line of expansions, here's your base, here's the line of expansions. One less for Tatanka, but that really should not matter. Actually, you know what? On a map like this, it could. It is so rare that games actually come down to that, though. And Tatanka needs to calculate that into a strategy. So, we'll see. What an exciting series. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Always fun. Sorry I haven't had the chance to stream in a while, but I'm going to help get this tournament closed out and covered. All right. We were just macroing up here. Second base being established. A couple more farms here and there. A little bit of a middle-of-the-road approach from both sides. Building some tier 1, building some farms. Checking what the opponent's doing. If previous games are anything to recognize a pattern, I think once we hit that 16 farms, we might see like selling a single tier 1 war and throwing down a tier 3. Melvin getting a little spicy. Melvin's army is pretty good. Oh no. Tatanka built a couple extra farms and is trying to get a tier 2. This is a great timing attack by Melvin. Will the defender's advantage help Tatanka? Tatanka wants to delay. Now he's going to come in. Those squirrels, this is what I'm talking about. Those squirrels from Melvin just trying to find tiles. That screwed up so hard. Oh my god, that engagement right there solidifies such an important point in Tooth and Tail about like how unit movements actually work. Like, on paper, Melvin should have just won the game right there, but since so many squirrels could not find a tile from Melvin, they could not attack. And Tatanka took a little bit of damage, but he was ahead on farms anyways. This is just fine for Tatanka right now. Melvin's coming in for round number 2. I think he's overextending. The Lizards do a better job of finding tiles because they're fast and they want to try to flank units by nature. If there's not a tile in front, they will just run right through it and find that tile in the back. Tatanka on the backswing here. Melvin having to sell those Forward Warrens run home with his tail between his legs a little bit. Tatanka smells blood in the water. Are we going to go to 3-3, ladies and gentlemen? And non-binary? Here we go. Snakes getting some good tags. I think this looks like a Tatanka victory. That is a lot of damage. All right. Good pullback from Tatanka there. Regroup. Let those snakes rebuild. But Tatanka looks like he's got this one in the bag. Melvin, though, one of the best players of Tooth and Tail of all time. If anybody can figure out how to get back into this game, it is him. Melvin coming in with the scout just to see how bad the situation is. See, he's okay. Tatanka's not super far ahead of me on farms. More tier 1 just has to be the answer right now. Tatanka should be moving out as he is. You don't have time to invest in a tier 2. I like the crows. They're going to help with that tiling problem I keep talking about. You know, these are a lot of little chokes. So the crows don't need a tile the same way that ground units do. Melvin trying to hold on for dear life. That's about as good as an engagement as he could have asked for, but Tatanka's got the numbers on his side here. And that is it. We are going to a game 7. All right, here we go. Man, how hyped. How hype is this? What a great series. Either of these players deserves to advance to the finals. Over in the bottom left, Melvinfro. Over on the right, Tatanka. Goofy map. But not bad. Not as bad as it looks. Tatanka has a natural back here. Melvin's got one too. I think Melvin's got an easier third base, maybe. I personally don't like third bases like this that are kind of exposed to this high ground here. Similar with Tatanka, this is a good third base for the most part. Actually, I like this third base a lot because trying to attack through the swamp is going to be a little awkward. Even these like trees can kind of mess with your unit's AI a bit. And, you know, slowing down with the swampiness. Ninja base potential up here. Tatanka's been on a roll, though. If memory serves, it was 3-1 Melvin. So Tatanka's won the last couple games in a row. And, you know, again, I mean, these guys are punching blow for blow as far as itemization, optimization, builds, you know, high level strategy. They're both kind of doing the same strategy. You know, let's safely macro up while we look for weak points for an attack and try to get to our ultimate army comp of multiple tier 3s. And it, you know, the game's really just come down to the engagements. So I think, generally speaking, Melvinfro has had a little bit of better decision making in this series. But man, when Tatanka takes the right fight, I mean, it's just, like he's doing tooth and tail magic over here. He's pulling rats out of hats. And snakes onto badgers. So I think Melvin's best bet is to go Tatanka into a poor attack, because generally that's the way Tatanka has been losing these games. Now there have been a couple, like game number 1, for example, Melvin won based on better control in the fight. So that's certainly an option as well. Looks like we want to get to 16 farms. Attacking is not the third bases. I mean, it's really going to be attacking the third bases, right? The third bases are just in such vulnerable positions for both sides. I mean, 16 farms is free. You get your free 16 farms on this map. No problem. No questions asked. But taking that third base is where things get spicy. And I wonder if Melvin would rather have this one. This seems harder to attack. And this just seems so bad. If I'm Melvin, maybe I'm thinking about that as a third. All right, let's see those tier 3s drop. Double Badger from Melvin. Wolf Boar from Tatanka has been on the menu. Yeah, really interesting compositions compared to the meta of Tooth and Tail. I think QQ in the chat pointed out recently that no Falcons. Falcons have been cut in the last few games. We also don't see Chameleons, which I feel like Chameleon is just like one of the most iconic Tooth and Tail just good units, right? The Chameleons are just good, and we're not seeing them. Okay, well, Melvin's going to take this kind of clunky tier, third base here. He does have that third base advantage. Look at this. He's like, come at me, bro. I love this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Like, he's got to go Tatanka into a bad attack. And look at it. See? That's exactly what he just tried to do, man. He's like, oh, you just saw I have all these farms. Come attack me. And Tatanka's falling for it. But he doesn't have all those farms, bro. He just made more tier 1. Oh, my God. Melvin doesn't need this base. He can let it go. He's got skunks in the way. How hard does Tatanka commit here? Yeah, just go home. Just go home. There's no reason. You're floating so much money. Get your own third base. No, he's just gonna rail tier 1. I think this is gonna be better for Melvin. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm overvaluing the skunks here, because that is a hell of a lot of crows. But the skunks clear the ground units, so then your crows are safe, right? Like Melvin's crows are safe if there's no squirrel lizard on the floor. Okay. Yeah, I'm sipping my, adult Kool-Aid. I apologize if you guys could hear that. I need to mute my mic before I do that. All right, here we go. Yeah, Melvin's comp is looking pretty sexy right now, man. I don't know. All right, this is it. This is for all the marbles. Whoever wins this fight advances. Oh my God, Tatanka just slams through it, but the Badger's still fine. All right, keep your Badger alive. Go. That's a lot of poison. Run back. Heal the Badger. I don't know. Melvin's better at Badger than I am. He's getting so much bad. Melvin is turning the corner with his bravery. Dude, I would have turned around. Absolutely. Man, Melvin winning the courageous award here. Okay, you got water there. You can go back to your. Okay, no snakes left. The pigeons are healing through the poison. Oh my God, this Badger control was absolutely insane, dude. Holy. Wow. Such good split-second decision-making with that Badger there. I was like, there's like 3 or 4 times with that control, I was like, there's no way. That's a dead Badger. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Melvinfro is your semifinals winner, advancing to the grand finals. What a set. Holy moly.